from the campus of Arkansas State University, this is Centennial Reflections.
On to victory, breaking the second to none. Let's make this game history, along with the others in one. The red and white shall ever wave on high for ages through.
Welcome to Centennial Reflections, a look back at the history of Arkansas State University from its beginnings as an agricultural school in 1909 to its present status as a multi-purpose university. I'm Rich Carville, host for the series. My guest today is Dr. J.W. Mason, who is Associate Vice Chancellor for Administration at Arkansas State. J.W., glad to have you here.
Rich.
I want to talk today about something that was kind of a quiet part of ASU history. Quiet because it seems to me it was done in a very peaceful manner, and that's the integration of the university. Why was it peaceful? There were other campuses that had riots. There were public schools that had problems. Why was it like it was at Arkansas State?
I think that Dean Robert Moore would probably be credited with having vision, having the foresight, having the patience, having a process in place where he actually selected students that he literally thought could meet the challenge, not only the academic challenge, but the social challenge. And so I think Robert Moore, the late Robert Moore, and his vision as compared to the way it was handled on some other campuses. And what you have to realize that African American students had started at Arkansas State University in the middle 50s. And some of the challenges that we were experiencing at some of the other schools, this was late 50s and early 60s, where African American students had already come to Arkansas State University and had been successful in their experience here.
Who were the first ones?
The first three were Turner, Williams, and Strong. And obviously the Strong Turner African American Alumni Association is named after Turner and Strong. Mm-hmm. And two of them literally graduated in 1959. And the third person, Williams, became successful in his own right. I think he did not graduate, but ended up spending a number of years working here at GE and still lives in Jonesboro.
Well, he worked part-time when he was a student,
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so GE saw that potential and pulled him in.
But what I think is also is important to recognize is that there were a number of African American educators in Mississippi County area.
That's where you grew up?
That's where I grew up. Mm-hmm. And they were observing how ASU would handle integration, because the long-range plan was to funnel other students from that area to Arkansas State, rather than continuously sending them to Arkansas A&M College.
At Pine Bluff.
At Pine Bluff, mm-hmm. where most black students went, and a couple of other schools, Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee, mm-hmm. where Mrs. Milligan, who was a member of our Board of Trustees, went, even though she's from Forest City. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lemoyne-Owen College in Memphis, and students went to Philander Smith, which is a Methodist school in Little Rock. But they wanted to see how Arkansas State would handle integration to see if it was feasible to start sending other students here. So I think the way Arkansas State University handled it opened the door for a number of other students that probably would have went someplace else had Arkansas State not been successful in its integration process.
Well, given the fact that Jonesboro and its proximity to Mississippi County, there was a feeling within your own family that you ought to go to school here.
That was correct. In a lot of families, the influence to go to college usually comes from teachers. Mm-hmm. And so I had a couple of teachers that had discussions with my mother, unbeknownst to me, that I should be one of the students to literally matriculate to Arkansas State.
But you went off someplace else.
I went off someplace else, but there were 3 students in my class that came to Arkansas State, and we would see each other during Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays and compare and discuss. And they were having a very rewarding experience here, and I was having a very rewarding experience at Pine Bluff.
But you came back.
I came
We
back.
got you back.
So it worked out. It worked out well.
You went to a special school in Mississippi County. Tell me about that.
I did. I went to a Rosenwald school, and found out that there were Rosenwald schools throughout the state of Arkansas into Mississippi. And part of our curriculum was knowing who Julius Rosenwald was and the contributions that he had made to African Americans to make it possible for them to have schools. Jack Hill, who was a former anchor here at Channel 8 about 4 years ago, did a special on the Rosenwald schools and literally looked up a number of African Americans throughout the country that had attended Rosenwald schools. I happen to have been one of them.
This was before the days of public school integration.
Absolutely.
And it essentially was a private school, although your family had to come up with some money.
That's correct. At the time, churches were used as institutions for African American students. And what the Rosenwald Fund did was they would challenge their community to come up with 1/3 of X number of dollars, and they would put the 2/3 in, and then that money would be used to literally build a facility. Sometime it would be 1 room, sometime it would be 2 rooms, 3 rooms, what have you. But, and I think I'm privileged to have attended a Rosenwald school, and again, it was part of our curriculum. I mean, you knew the name of Julius Rosenwald probably in every class from the 1st grade through the 12th grade.
We'll come back and talk some more about integration at Arkansas State University and the song Dixie in just a moment.